My name is Veronica Marie. I'm a fitness coach, a nutrition coach, an emotional wellness coach. I'm a feminine wisdom mentor, and I'm here to help you live a healthy and a happy life, okay? VeronicaMarie.com, all right? So we're going to talk about tapping into the higher self. I've been kind of making my rounds on social media this morning. I went in my polyamorous group and I did a little bit about physical connection and poly. All right, if you are polyamorous or curious about it, then that's the place for you. It's called the Center for Polyamorous Community and Education. It's on Facebook. All right, yeah, we over here. We going everywhere. We on tour. And I just saw that the moon is in Cancer. It just moved not long ago, a couple of hours, maybe an hour or two ago. Okay, and the Cancer moon is going to allow us to be very emotional, very nurturing. All right, and if your inner mother is a cruel taskmaster, you might be beating up on yourself today. Don't do that. All right, be nurturing, be easy on yourself. That's the moon in Cancer. We're here ready to get started. I want to talk to you about tapping into your higher self. I was just over on Instagram talking about the overactive ego. And so here I want to talk about the higher self. So we have 4 parts of the self, okay? Y'all go ahead and tap the screen while I'm talking. You have 4 parts of yourself. You have your persona, your ego, your higher self, and your God self, okay? Your persona is the outer expression. Whatever is presenting at that time is not who you are. It's not who the person is, and it's an expression of a character of the person. And most people have a lot of different characters, okay? That's your persona. Then you have your ego. Your ego is where the rest of the characters live. All of your conditioning, your will, all of that is in the ego. Then you have your higher self, and that's where I want to park up. Persona, ego, higher self, and God self. All right? There's many different ways to talk about this. I'm talking about it in a particular way today on purpose. You got to know what the higher self is, right? Because some people are busy thinking their ego is their higher self. I come to give you some good information. So the higher self is what you would refer to as your spirit. It's the indestructible part of you. Your higher self is the part of you that has all the information about what you need to accomplish here, how you need to accomplish it, etc. Hey, BC. Your higher self knows who you need to connect to, why, what you need. Your higher self knows what experiences you need. Okay, your ego sits there and thinks that some experiences are unnecessary. That's not true. Your higher self knows to get you from point A to point B, you need to experience X, Y, or Z. Your higher self understands that in order for you to get certain lessons, you have to go through certain challenges. Your higher self is aware of this. Your ego is not. All right? Thank you for being here, Raven. Your higher self is the director of this show. Okay? The higher self is the director of the show. But sometimes the ego takes over the directorship. Sometimes the ego comes in and overpowers the higher self to the point where you are unaware that you even have a higher self. You are only conscious of your ego. Your ego cares about what other people think. Your ego cares about how you're going to be seen. Your ego cares about the things that it has been taught to care about on this earth plane. Your higher self does not. Your higher self does not care about what other people think. The higher self is interested in your evolution as a human. Okay? Your higher self is not associated with your brain, so it's not associated with your conditioning. Your ego is. Your ego is designed to support your higher self, but sometimes the ego takes over. All right? So I come to give you some helpful ways to tap back into your higher self. Hey, Queen, how you doing? I came to give you some helpful ways to tap into your higher self. And one of the ways I'm going to offer directly to you as a guided meditation. Okay? Hey, Jay, how you doing? We forget that we are a spirit learning how to be human. We start tapping all the way into the human experience from the perspective of a human, and we forget that there is another perspective to be had, which is higher, which is more true. Okay? It's your higher self. Your higher self is the part of you that knows everything you need to know. Now, I want to qualify this. I'm not saying that when you listen to your higher self, you're going to have a pain-free life. I'm not saying that. Because I did just say that the higher self is concerned about your evolution. And when you are evolving, things must shed. When you are evolving, ideas must clash. When you are evolving, challenges must come to reprogram your brain. And if you don't know how to look at that, if you're not empowered to move through it, you will experience that as pain and try to avoid it. Your ego wants to avoid pain at all costs because your ego is not trained in the higher things. So one way that you can help your ego to get in alignment with your higher self so you can tap in, because the ego is like will put blocks over your ears so you can't hear your higher self. The ego won't let you. I come to help you get back in alignment, okay? Your higher self is the director. The ego is the support, okay? So one of the ways is through emotional healing. The ego becomes overactive when there's a lot of illusion in your soul. Illusion comes in because situations have happened and you haven't known how to deal with them. So you coped. Thank you, Queen. You dealt with it the best way you knew how. And that got you from point A to point B, and I'm proud of you. But there is a perspective that is closer to truth, which is going to get you from point E to M, B to M. Okay? Because you need to keep evolving. And so your being is not designed to hold illusions. So things will happen, people will happen, conversations will happen that stir you up on the inside, and the goal is to shift you into a higher consciousness, to put you in resonance with your higher self rather than the conditioning of the ego. But if you don't know that, then you're stuck blaming other people. Other people are like this. Other people are like that. I can't stand them. I stay away from them. I cut people off. This is the work of the ego. The ego will cause you to stagnate. If you're not moving with your higher self, your ego will cause you to stagnate, isolate, and call it spiritual. Okay? Okay? The ego will cause you to stagnate because the ego is not designed to be the director. Your higher self is the director. Okay? So one of the ways to get that ego back in the servanthood of the higher self is emotional healing. It's acquiring tools of empowerment so you can navigate hard things and challenges with truth. Learning universal laws, applying them on a daily basis. I offer one-on-one coaching. Come to coaching. Let's talk. We have to help the ego get in a place where it serves us well. Some people talk about killing the ego. No, we need the ego, but the ego needs to serve us well. Right, the ego will have you saying something told me. Yep. Trying to avoid the pain when you actually needed that. Hey Ra, how you doing? And so these are the ways that you can tap into your higher self so you can move in purpose, so you can move in passion, so you can move in a self-validated way. And over time, when you practice higher self living versus egocentric living, you become more confident. You start seeing the world in a different way. You stop being so contracted. Your native awareness, I'm here to tell you what your native awareness is. Your native awareness is expansive. You thrive in uncertainty. You are unlimited creativity. You know how to make something out of nothing and you bring it forward from within. That's your native vibration. That's higher self vibration. The ego vibration is, oh, but They're going to look at you like this. Oh, they're going to think you crazy. Oh, they're going to do this. Oh, I don't want to be seen as that. It's going to look like I don't have my stuff together. They think they're going to talk to me any kind of way. That's ego thinking. It's contracted. Living from your higher self is not to be confused with all love and light, because it's not all love and light. Your higher self dwells in the expanse, which is darkness, okay? So your higher self is going to cause. Let's talk about alchemy right quick. If you're still here, let me know you're still here, because I could preach and go on and on and on. Let's talk about alchemy right quick. Right quick. Alchemists were doing something figurative that we can learn from. Okay? Alchemy. In alchemy, there's this concept of transmutation. All right? And so what will happen is you will have an experience. Good. I'm glad y'all here. You will have an experience that begins to stir something up inside of you. It's called a trigger. So now you got this energy inside of you. All right? We call the energy offended. We call the energy aggravation. We call it irritation. We call it anger. We call it all of these things. But whatever we call it, the truth is this information is causing something to rise from our subconscious. All right? So when ancient people would melt silver came with ore on top of it, which is the rock, right? So they would melt the silver at a very high temperature so that the things that were not silver would rise to the surface. So this is the process of evolution. Some stuff is going to happen and you're going to be experiencing it within your being. It's rising to the surface. It's rising to the surface to do what? To be seen, understood, and integrated. But you don't know how to do that, right? The typical person doesn't know how to do that. So what happens is the illusion rises up, it feels painful, and you either lash out or fold in. Or go passive aggressive, meaning you go back and forth. Okay? The thing rises up, the illusion rises up, you experience it as pain. But I'm trying to tell you what it is. What it is illusion rising up from your subconscious to be in your awareness so you can do something with it. You're worrying about what to do when people do this and what to do when people do that. What you need to first do is understand the difference between your ego and your higher self, and then become empowered with tools so you'll know what to do. If you're living only in your ego and not tapping into your higher self, you don't know what to do. And so you feel disempowered. So the ego rises up to empower you. You better tell them. You don't talk to them anymore. That's why you don't talk to people. This is how the ego knows how to act. So the illusions come to the surface and you feel them, but you don't know what it is. I'm here to tell you what it is. The irritation you feel, the impatience you feel, the anger you feel, the aggravation, all the stuff you feel, the anxiety, the depression is the stuff coming up from your subconscious to be seen. Okay? Now, what can you do with the stuff that's coming up? You need some support on this journey. No man is an island. I don't care how much y'all try to isolate, how much you try to read and consume information. You need other people to reflect to you things that you don't see about yourself. It's like looking in the mirror. I don't know that my nose ring is doing this. You see it? I don't know that it's doing that until I look at my reflection or if somebody tells me. Then I know. It's the same way with consciousness. You feel the thing, you experience the thing, but you don't know what it is. You need somebody to say, this is A, this is B, this is C. Then based upon what you feel in your system, you begin to heal it. All right. So I'm here to let y'all know that I offer one-on-one coaching. Okay. I offer one-on-one coaching in this topic, and this topic would be considered shadow work. When things come up from your subconscious, it's coming up so you can see a part of yourself that you never saw before. You can know a part of yourself you never known before. It's coming up so that the illusion that's been locked inside of you, likely for your whole life, can be released and replaced with truth. Your higher self does not give a care what you look like to other people. Your higher self is not choosing things based upon other people. Your higher self is choosing based upon what you need for this life journey. And that includes some things that will cause you to clash. Your higher self will lead you into some relationships that you feel are unnecessary. You will experience the expiration of some relationships and you will call it failure and experience regret and remorse over it. But your higher self knows that you needed that lesson. Your ego thinks that pain is unnecessary. Your higher self knows what you need for evolution. You need that fire hot enough for the stuff to come from your subconscious. Because as long as that fire is not hot, you sitting by yourself and you think you're good, but you're stagnant. Hey. So your higher self won't let you be stagnant. That's why you can't altogether avoid negative people. That's why you can't cut all the negative people off, because the negativity is inside of you, drawing negativity on the outside so you can recognize it. You are the creator of your reality, and your reality is your experience. And no aggravating people can come into your experience unless you got some aggravating illusions inside of you. It's just not possible. Of course you feel good by yourself, because nobody is reflecting you to yourself. You can't see yourself in the proverbial mirror. Of course you feel good. As soon as you get around people, see, that's why I don't deal with people. Why? Because they help you see you. And being you feels uncomfortable for real. So you rather not see yourself. That's what this is. All right. So I do believe that there is a time to isolate. There's a time to heal. But after a certain point, you got to come back out, because this world is built and maintained on negative and positive. You're not all love and light. Okay? I don't care even if you think you are, you're still not. You're in the darkness if you think you love and light, because you're under a veil. You are both lightness and dark, light and dark, and you need both to evolve. You need both. So you can't say that's just them. You're not like that. If they're in your attentional field and they're bringing stuff in you, then it is you too. Yes, it is. Now, you can do something about that. You can ignore it and deny it and say it's not and press it back down and go back into your people avoidance. But it's going to keep happening over and over again because it's in you. All right? Does that make sense? Am I preaching to the church choir? I know I'm not. The negativity that comes in your life is because you draw it. And you, meaning your higher self, because you will say with your consciousness, no, I don't like that. But your higher self likes it for you because you need for that gunk to come out of your subconscious. Now, you got to know what to do with it. And that's where I come in. I'm not here preaching to you and then leaving you to wonder what to do. I'm telling you, I am here for one-on-one coaching. You click on the link in my profile, go check it out. If I'm for you, let's do it. If I'm not, I get it. It's cool. Okay? But I cannot attend to your personal situation on this live. All of this is individualized. Even if I gave you the whole process, you still wouldn't be able to do it. It takes a certain level of consciousness. It's just how it is. Okay? It's a difference between having a book and it telling you what to do step by step and somebody holding your hand and saying, come here, I'll show you. My name is Veronica Marie. I'm a fitness coach, a nutrition coach, an emotional wellness coach, and a feminine wisdom mentor. And I'm here to help you live a healthy and a happy life. And I'm so glad you've been here with me. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me talking about this good stuff.